Raise your hand.
Kirby, how's practice been a couple days in the week?
It's been good. They've had 2 good days. Intro to Ole Miss yesterday, and then some regular down stuff today, and do some more third down red area tomorrow. They've been locked in, and it's a tough prep because they do a lot of different things offensively and create a lot of problems on defense. I mean, they are create TFLs and they're havoc. I mean, they create a lot of havoc. So trying to stay ahead of the sticks and ahead of the chains, they do a good job. So it's been a good prep though.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about their run game. Their quarterbacks are extremely competitive runners, particularly outside the pocket. How do you go about coaching your team up to hit him this week outside the pocket without, going out? They do a good job of protecting the quarterback with the rules and things like that. Do you go about this guy different with the way that he runs?
No, once he's a runner, he's no more protected than a running back. I mean, we're going to tackle him like we tackle backs. He's physical. I mean, their backs are physical. They're all hard to tackle in terms of size and stature. He's, you get over 210, 215 pounds, and they're running, 4.4s, 4.5s. It's physical, and he lowers his shoulder and competes to play. So I have a lot of respect for the way he runs. But in terms of us tackling him, it's going to be, like we do a back.
Coach, what all has Brock Bowers been able to do these 2 days, and how has he looked?
He's working hard. He's doing all he can in terms of trying to get himself in shape and get better. I mean, he's back running now on dry land, and I mean, we're hoping that he keeps getting better. I mean, that's kind of the MO on this injury is, every kid we've had so far has had it. Week 1 they do this, week 2 they do this, week 3 they do that, week 4. I mean, he's right on schedule for the things he's been doing.
Just a quick follow-up, if you don't mind. I have no idea. As far as the tightrope, surgery goes, how much does the pain tolerance play into how when a player is cleared to be able to get back on the field?
Yeah, I've never had it either, Anthony, so I can't answer that. I don't know. Some guys say it hurts worse than others. I mean, Lucky shared his experiences with Brock, and Jaws had 2 of them. Cash had 1. Mims has obviously had 1. So from what I hear, it's it's more painful in the beginning, and it's like a roller coaster ride. It has its ups and downs and moments, and you continue to push through it, and you get better as you go.
Yeah, we'll get to talk to Marcus in a little bit. Just what can you say about the journey he's been on here from, that first year he suffers that ankle injury against Florida. Now he's, a leader on the team, one of the top receivers on this offense.
Yeah, when we recruited Marcus, we knew we were getting that kind of kid. He went to a great school down in South Florida, St. Thomas, and he's a great kid. He comes from a great family. He's very passionate about football. I don't know when you rank leaders at Georgia. There's been some great ones since we've been here in terms of the command and respect they've earned by what they've been through and what they've done, and he would be right there at the top of those guys in terms of when he speaks, people listen. The way he competes, and his toughness and his effort. He upholds our culture. I mean, he begs to be on special teams. I mean, he just embodies what you want a Georgia football player to be, and I have a lot of respect for him as a competitor.
Coach, getting back Ole Miss's defense again, how much is what they're doing for us schematics go similar to what Pete's doing, similar to what he did at Alabama?
Well, he doesn't have the exact same players he had at Alabama, so I think he's done a good job, making his scheme, and there's similarities, but you don't just do the scheme. No defensive coordinator just goes, oh, well, I'm going to cookie cutter this. This is what I do. This is what I believe in. You do what fits your system, and he's taken the players he has there, and he's made them, better on defense. They fly around, they attack the ball, they do a lot of really good things. But they're just not the exact same players that they have at Alabama in terms of just sheer size and numbers. But they are very talented in what they do.
Kirby, y'all have probably had several kind of cornerstone pieces during this run y'all have been on. Cedric seems to be one of them. I'm curious what he's brought to this program.
character, leadership, charisma, heart. He's not afraid to speak up. But look, all the great leaders we have this year, they learned 2 years ago from a great leadership class. That leadership class learned from a really good leader. I mean, you learn from those before you. And those that laid the foundation all the way back to Nick and Sony have trickled down to everybody else. So when you have good core people, you're not going to win every game. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to do that. But if you put good people in your program and you demand excellence and you hold them to a standard and you pay attention to every little detail, eventually you get pretty good leadership out of people. And we've been bearing the fruits of a lot of work that we put into these players really from COVID on.
Yeah, obviously even before this week, C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson had shown that they were going to be able to contribute and help you guys. Was there anything maybe early on in their time here or when you were even recruiting them that sort of let you know that these are going to be guys that are going to be able to help us or their first year here on campus?
Yeah, I don't know that I can sit here and say anything set them apart to make them able to. You don't know if a guy's going to be able to play as a freshman until they get here and see how they learn and process. And they were both bright kids and they were both really talented kids. So physically they had the gifts to be able to play. But, I mean, within our defense, there's a mental rep count that you got to get. And luckily they had all spring. And they got it down in the spring. Then they had all summer. And they've had all fall camp. And Raylan would be probably at least where CJ is or ahead if he had not had the injury in camp, and that set him back. But he's caught up really quick, and they're both really good athletes.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned sharing different stats, like the explosive stat with Lane and his staff. I'm curious if there's any other things that you guys have kind of shared back and forth over the years. And I know you've talked about the relationship, but is there any other uniqueness other than, there's some mingling between the staffs in the offseason?
No, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Lane. I've told you that. He and I shared seats next to each other at Alabama for, 2 years, I guess it was, maybe 3. I don't ever know how long we were there together because it all runs together. But a lot of respect for him as a coach. He was a head coach at a really young age. He taught me a lot of things about what he believes in being a head coach and doing it your way. And he certainly had a unique experience in terms of the places he's been able to work as a head coach, and he draws on that. And there's times we share ideas or GPS numbers or whatever, but there's nothing outside of just a really good friendship and respect.
Coach, we haven't asked you lately how Branson Robinson is doing his rehab. Is he going to be able to go come spring practice?
I don't know the answer to that. The closest thing we had was Ryan Davis went through this the 1 year, and it's a long, arduous process, and I can't answer that. I think he'll probably be cleared, but I don't know if he'll be able to go through like live tackling and everything.
Yeah, obviously confidence remains high in Carson Beck. What's maybe one area where going into this final stretch of the regular season here you want to see him continue to improve and get better?
His leadership continue to improve and exert his confidence and put his touch on his personality with those guys is something. I mean, he's into all the ball stuff. I mean, he could be cleaner on some things in the pocket. He could be cleaner on some protection things, but he's going to make mistakes because we put him in a position to make 3 to 4 decisions every play. So he's not going to be perfect, but I can accept that. I want him to continue to grow as a leader and commanding of the offense.
Kirby, earlier this year, you joked around when you broke that record for most wins in the first 100 games by an SEC coach and said you had an easy schedule, but or easier, I think was how you said it that night, kiddingly. But is
nothing easy about this league, I can promise you that.
For sure. Do you think there's more parity now than there was even 7-8 years ago? And where I'm going with that is I think you and Lane were together for part of the Alabama 26-game win streak as well. Has NIL and transfer rules made it a little bit more even across the board?
I think so. I don't know. I don't think we'll know the totality of NIL portal until we look back from 5, 10-year window, you can't really have enough substance to judge that. But there seems to be more parity. I don't know. There's teams don't have as deep of rosters as we used to.
Yeah, Coach, obviously every home game is important for fans to be loud, but with this offense having as much window dressing and pre-snap movement as it does, is this a unique challenge to your fan base to be even louder, and can they have an even bigger impact on this football game?
Yeah, they can have a huge impact, and we need them to. I'm counting on them to have a huge impact. I mean, look, Ole Miss has played in some tough stadiums, not only this year but last year. They've gone across the SEC West and seen all the tough places to play, and it's not going to be foreign to them to play in a tough environment. But we certainly need to create it for them, and we need to create problems for them on defense and make it hard for them to play against us, along with the crowd. The crowd needs to have an impact and pull in the same direction for our players.
Time for two more, anybody?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about Javon Bullard. I think he might have said a little bit earlier this year. He might have been a little bit banged up. It seems like of late he's come back on. Can you just talk about the importance he has even beyond the position and how he transcends into that defense?
Yeah, he's a great leader. He's heart and soul. He and Kamari have such passion for the game. They compete against each other every day in practice, and they're both physically tough. They love football. They're at the edge of their seat every meeting taking notes. They love Nuggets. He's just a great kid, great leader that loves football.
Kirby, how's Ernest Green done, closing into, I guess, 3 games left in the regular season? He's been out there obviously the whole time. What's his been progression, I guess?
He's done a really good job. I mean, he's come into a league it's hard to play left tackle in. He's played really well. I mean, he's had his snafus. He's had some mistakes. He's had some jumping moments, but I think the fact that he's played through all that and he's playing with more and more confidence, we've really challenged him to get in shape to be able to play 4 quarters at full speed and give max effort. And I think he's taken that on and really working hard at it. He's very conscientious about working this stuff.
Thank you.